Holy crap, I did that whole thing and I forgot to record. Oh my god. Okay, so a couple hours later, here's my rough, gotta cut the stuff off part. All this is filler. It only has a little bit on the top, so I have to trim and get this all apart and bust out the center and clean it up. 3D printed parts are rough cast if best. Lots of filler to break out. It's been a few hours. The 1200 is totally apart. I came up with this contraption. So this is my compact flash adapter, 44 pin. My idea was I wrapped it in Captain tape because I don't have a really good base for the machine. Actually, I have no base. I just have, you know, it. So the idea is it will sit in here in its original spot with the keyboard brace. This will connect. And yeah, it's going to have an overhang, but I'm going to tuck this down near the capacitors or do something like lay it over, fold it, something. I'm going to get it down and I don't know. We'll see. When the keyboard's on there, I should push it down. Compact flash trays intact. I really need the under plastics because there's holes that go through and I need to secure it better. I don't want it to be a total ugly thing. It's already ugly with the cabling for the Gotek. There's nothing in the expansion slot. So I have to shorten this cable up that I made and get that sorted. I am currently printing, as you can see, as you can see on the screen up here, the boxes, which will sit right about here or here and fit perfectly in here with the screen mount. The cables will fit through the mesh grating and we won't see nothing. 3D printing's going on at my feet down here. It has been going on for quite some time. 38%, so it has a couple hours to go. 3D printing is slow, but it's nice to be able to make your own parts when you need them. It's been a few days. Put the Gotek in. It's been kind of okay. It's sitting there pretty well now. Let me take you off the tripod here. So as you can see, it sits in there quite well, and I can actually access the buttons. Thanks to a couple of you guys on the Commodore Amiga Facebook group, I was able to procure some 314 ROMs. I was having problems finding places that were having them in stock. I don't need the discs. I have like 3 sets now. And I wanted some mono ROMs. These are 3.0 ROMs. That's fine. But due to some limitations with file sizes and things, I was having, you know, some issues with larger devices. So I stripped myself down to a 4 gig CF card. It's been kind of complex to use the Amiga without the keyboard. I have some things on order. It's been a few days. I got my wonderful yellow keyboard. Looks like it was on a fire. I think this is just some crap. I am not sure. I don't know. So we're going to clean this up before we hook it up and test it. I have been slowly working on the audio circuits, and it is complex. I am not sure if it is one of the capacitors up here, and if they were actually ever even really replaced. They do look like different caps than the factory, minus there are some showies still in there, but I'm pretty confident that the capacitors are replaced, minus a few. So these are Panasonics, but several of the other ones, especially over near the hard drive controller, look like they were not touched. We'll get into that a little later. The clock port is the full clock port. I know sometimes it's only half of the pins. I am considering the op amp for an issue, along with the 2 little resistors for the left and right channel. I've been measuring the ohm resistance on them, and they're a little high. I think they're supposed to be lower, but that's not what this is about today. Today is about this keyboard, which I also printed the last time we checked. I was 3D printing a bracket. This is a rough, unsanded backboard for here if I want to do that. This is a unpeeled yet, still has the the layer, outside adhesion layer for the Gotek screen that will fit on the top case. We'll deal with those later. We're going to paint them, sand them, and all of that good stuff. But for now, I have to see if this is like some kind of goop or whatever. So we're just going to use cotton rounds. These are from the dollar store. They're just the cotton, like women's makeup removers you have seen me do in the past. So I'm just going to put some IPA on here and see what's up, and it's not coming off. Okay. Made in Malaysia. Some of it is coming off. I don't know if this is coffee or what. That's weird. Rubbing alcohol usually takes everything off. I guess it is a little bit. If I literally scrub the crap out of it. Holy moly. So the Amiga that this came out of might have like really burnt the hell up. Are any of your keyboards this bad out there in 1200 land? Now the last, oh shit, whoops. The last 1200 I owned was in 1998 when I sold it on eBay for a couple $100. Well, it's coming off a little bit at a time. Looks like some poop or something. Maybe I'll try like a magic eraser or something like that, but just getting it. It looks rusty around the top here, and F10 is just weird. It looks like it was ghetto wiped real quick, but not thoroughly cleaned. So we will be dekeying these, doing some sort of retro breading on them because they are super yellow. Alright, let's switch the TV to the other side. Let's close my IPA before I spill it. Move some crap out of the way, and carefully, I don't have a regular screwdriver with me, I'll use this little file. Pop the thing up and hopefully insert and click in the keyboard. Ooh. Hard drive is just kind of hanging over here, hanging low, but I just want to see if this works. Alright, it's doing something. Okay, where did we get E? Freaking wonderful. A little bit clogged here. And this mouse sucks. Oh man. Alright, so we're booted. So, where did we get E? This keyboard does not work. Just flipping wonderful. Locale, United States, English. It's a UK keyboard, but American keyboard test. Alright, we have keys. Alright, let's back it out. Q, W, E, R, T, Y, U, I, O, P, left bracket, right bracket, enter. Okay. Equals blah blah blah. Let's back some stuff out here. Let's just run like a notepad or editor or something. We'll just run turbo text. Alright, that's better. Q-W-E-R-T-Y-O-P, blah blah. Enter. A-S-D-F G-H-J-K-L semicolon whatever. I have a weird keyboard because that's my ampersand sign, and on this keyboard it's the @ because it's a UK keyboard. And I have two blank keys on here. Well, that's a weird looking key. Because this is a UK keyboard, you UK people know that, you know, of course, your pound sign is my pound sign down here. So I have on an American keyboard the hashtag pounds. The actual pound sign is above the number 3 on the top numbers. Whoops. On on the keyboard for us, normally this key would be Z, Z to you UK guys, but there's a weird nothing key here that is giving me the less than symbol, which is normally over here, which is comma, and it's a little bit different, but that's okay. So ZXCV BNM period or semi or blah comma period slash caps lock. Yeah, looks like we're good to go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 minus plus pipe blank. My shift key doesn't work. Huh, weird. There we go. Left shift key works. Right shift key does not. Right Amiga key does not. Well, that's just working my butt. Oh man, always something, isn't it? Always something. Oh, let's install Magic Workbench. Finally, I can hit yes. Click for colors. Yay, no. What is wrong with you? Click for colors. Oh, whatever. Oh, I've put myself in high color, so I'm going to get this out of the way a little bit while that's thinking. There's my directory works right there. So we're going to go to DH0. Not yet. Return. Return. Start the installation, please. Just the normal Magic Workbench install. While this is installing, right here, you can see the actual hard drive caddy. I covered it in Captain tape, and I have a 3D printed bracket underneath of it where it is screwed into the original case. And if I am ever so careful, which I probably shouldn't even bother at this point, I can put it back on there. But since I don't have the shielding, it kind of worries me just a bit. So I also have to put a new screen on the Gotek. That's why I'm going to use the other Gotek, because the new screens are a little weird. They are a 128 by 32 millimeter. They come with a small pin header here, and in normal times you would solder this pin header onto your Gotek board and that would be your display. However, the original Gotek here, I'll press a button so you can see, has the track information and it's fine, it covers, but the new Gotek screen is not as, I don't know if it's centered or what. Check it out. The screen has like this extra area on the bottom. You can see the black, which is the actual display. There's a good view. But the other one goes all the way to the end. So I'm concerned about how it's going to actually look. And what I need to do is this. On this 3D printed turd bracket that I've made, and I don't know all of the pieces. This is the little piece that is going to click into the keyboard, and these are where the wires are going to run through. Wires, yes. So if I printed 2 of these, because I'm going to screw one up before I clean this, sand this. So this will be the display side, and I know it looks like total ass right now, but it's got adhesion layer on it, so I'll sand this smooth. The screen will sit in here, and I need to do this before I solder it in, and it will look like that. Whoop, it'll look like that, so it'll look nice. But I was concerned if I put it the other way, is it going to display properly, because it's off a little bit. So yeah, if I do it this way, you'll see a little bit of the gold line at the bottom. So hopefully it displays more towards the top, and I can put it in where it's covered, because one side of this 3D print is wider than the other, and if it's this way, it'll be fine. Now this one was a little bit screwy. Yeah, so this was just a rough draft. They took 3 hours to print. I don't know why. I'm having some weird problems with my base plate where it's deciding it just doesn't want to stick, or it gets too hot, or whatever. My PLA filament runs from 215 degrees Celsius to 235, which is like 400 degrees. And I think, since this room is so cold on this side of my basement, because it doesn't have any it has the HVAC system, but it doesn't have any vents itself. It goes out to the other part of the house. Yes. So this will have the Intel inside. It's almost finished. Alright. What did it say to set? Set a 16 color screen mode or higher. Alright, so we're going to just do, I'm just going to put it all the way up to 256. Save. Alright. So yes. DH1. Whoops. Oh man, the H1, my shift key wasn't working. Okay. Yes. CF0. That enter, that return key is touchy. No. No. Almost done. This is my registered copy, so hopefully my registration still works. Now, it's been mentioned that you can't register Magic Workbench anymore, and I sent an email to the SAS-G group. I don't know if the company's still on. The website works, but I don't know if they're still in existence. If I could share this registration, even though it's registered to me, it has my name in it. It's weird. Okay, thank you. And we could have the, yes, fine, thank you. Alright, I'm not going to click my register now. So before you register Magic Workbench, right? Oh my god, 256 colors looks like turds. Let's put this back. If you go into your Workbench startup folder, whoa, clean up. Screen mode. I'm putting this back down to like 16 colors. Poof, poof, poof. I think I got to reboot. Control Amiga. I don't have one. But back to the Gotek. If I can get these sorted, I have to solder them in directly so the wires can run through the back plate. First, the back plate actually came out okay. There we go. We have a nice Intel outside Magic Workbench Amiga 1200. No memory. Boy, that sucked up a meg of chip RAM just for that. That's crazy. Alright, let's snapshot all. Now, if you run a version of Magic Workbench that, oh god, that is unregistered, in your Workbench startup folder you will see a register Magic Workbench icon, and that is the shareware version, and you can delete that and it will not pop up the register window every time. So you can use the demo version of Magic Workbench, delete the Magic Workbench register from SAS-G out of the startup, and you will be fine. The only downfall is on some of the versions that are on Aminet, if you click it, it will say unregistered version. You can tell you're the registered version if you actually click an icon and it opens the drawer versus, or the animation of opening the drawer versus saying shareware. So I need to remove the window background because I don't mind the Intel outside logo, but I do mind. It really sucks not having, it really sucks not having a right Amiga key. I need to fix this window. It's just, hold on. Normally it's control or right Amiga period is cleanup. And then snapshot all. So in my, come on, Workbench pattern, I am going to click this to Windows and say, oops, cancel, and say, no, cancel, go up higher, pattern, and just hit save. That'll strip the windows back to gray, and I almost get a meg of chip RAM, 929K. Let's take the other one off and see how much the AGA background actually sucks up. So we're going to say pattern, save, we're going back to nothing. 1.2 megs chip RAM. Now, on the AGA Amigas, when you have Magic Workbench, in Workbench Startup, you're going to see Magic Copper. That is the same as a ECS machine. When you go into Magic Workbench, the click for colors. It's the same thing as that. You want to leave your install because there's this cool feature called Snapshot RAM Icon. You can move your RAM icon anywhere you want and say start the snapshot, yes, RAM snapshot successfully finished, because you can, it sets the env-arc variable in syspref's env-arc for where your RAM disk icon is located. You can also run the update drawers if you add new folders, like it'll go through all of these, and I could tell it to update the drawers on DH1 or my compact flash card, and there's tons of little, like my Pirate Skull for Dolph Utilities games with an icon. There's tons of little icons you can drag in. On 314, you can actually just do a Right Amiga I or icon information and drag and drop the icons right here and change them. It's kind of really cool. But the old way is you have to change the disk.info from the device. If my Right Amiga key works, so I can actually reboot the damn computer. But it's nice to have a keyboard. We're getting there for a complete Amiga. But, you know, at least I got my keyboard. We're getting it back together a little bit. It's hard to do a lot of things when you don't have a lot of RAM. I know it's got 1.3 megs, but I mean, I feel like a naked Amiga 500 owner with a belly slot. So I guess that's cool. It's a 68020, 14 megahertz with a compact flash adapter, Amiga Explorer, a Gotek drive, an external floppy. I should put the Gotek in that, or another Gotek in that, so I can just use it on multiple machines, but I don't want to destroy the drive. I do have a busted drive unit that I've been working on for some time, that every time I plug an Amiga or a Gotek into, since it doesn't have the 4-pin Berg connector, it gets power from the floppy cable somehow. And every time I plug it in, one of the pins on the Gotek is ground. The entire bottom row of a Gotek is ground. So anyway, if you're going to plug a Gotek into a external floppy drive, make sure you have one with a 4-pin floppy type power cord. If you do not, if you plug it in, you will pop one of the Pico fuses on the 2000. You'll pop one of the small fuses on the external disk drive port on your 500 or 1200. So be careful doing that, because one of them does hold 12 volts, and that will be bad for a 5-volt Gotek. So I have to do this screen, but I need to take a breather and correctly 3D print a bracket that is not as crooked as a politician here, because this is the face that you see. Although it's flat, it does sit flat. Maybe the second one is even worse. It's just crooked as heck. And the reason why is it has this little angle on it. And let's see what it's going to look like on the actual keyboard itself. Let me turn this off because I have the worst luck with stuff. I'm not going to plug the keyboard in. I'm just going to kind of stick it over there. Oh boy, is that yellow. Alright, so we're just sitting in here. The Gotek thing, man, that is yellow. This case is actually surprisingly white. Where's the angle? Okay, so here's the angle. It does fit perfectly. The angled piece. But it's just crooked as hell. It looks like it melted. And I have to peel all this off. If you've ever 3D printed anything, you know it has a layer of like adhesion around it and just like crap you have to sand off. And I did this on a quick, so it looks like total dog mess. Rubbish. So, but it would sit in here like this, and the cables run right through, and I can just maybe hot glue a dab or something so I can see the screen. The buttons are accessible on the side. The only downfall is the light needs to be bent back. The green light would need to be bent back. Also, there is a metal screw there that I have to watch out for, or just remove the access green light altogether. So, that is where we're at for the moment, and thank you for watching. I hope this was informative. What we're going to do next is disassemble this keyboard and wash these keys and clean them up. I can't really retro bright them outside because there's not enough bright sunlight. It is winter time here in Pennsylvania. It's cold and cloudy and gray, like a normal London day, I guess. So let's pop this out, get this cleaned up, and then we'll do another one on the keyboard. Thanks for watching.